Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rocky Top Live Reselling. This is on a Wednesday night, hump day, and we're in the house right now with the one and only Easy Pickens, otherwise known as Mr. Chris. Welcome to Rocky Top Live, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me
Good.
on. Much appreciated, buddy.
You're welcome. Well, we're going to allow a little time
So I
for
don't know what's
people to
going on.
filter in. This is going to be this is going to be on replay on the Rocky Top Picker channel. And I want to start off really getting to know you and let other people find out more about you and your YouTube channel. And let's start with this. So, Easy Pickens, Chris, where are you from, first off? And then what did you used to do for a living? You're a full-time reseller now. What did you used to do for a living? When did you transition into reselling? And why did you choose reselling as your business?
All right, let me see if I can remember all those questions. All right, so I'm from Kansas. Okay, I moved to Southern California like in '06. So I've been out here for about 18 years or so, and love it. I pay the weather tax out here, man. It's expensive, but dude, I don't want to be in that cold anymore, man, at all, or the hot. We got pretty damn good weather right here. But anyway, yeah, I'm actually not full time reseller. I'm part time reseller. I
Okay.
still have a full time job. So I'm a systems engineer in the IT field. I work for a company. We do revenue control software for parking lots and ski resorts and stuff like that. So, but my passion lately has been lying in reselling. Okay, so the way I got into reselling, honestly, I've always kind of dabbled in it. I've always had classic cars, working on my own car. So I buy and sell car parts on eBay. I'll buy a new carburetor, pull off the old one, put the new one on, and then sell the old one on eBay. So I knew about eBay. I didn't ever think of it as a way to make steady income. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've always been the type to do like garage sales once a year, twice a year, and blow everything out. Um, Go to the swap meet once a year, sell car parts and stuff like that, clear out the garage. I'm constantly accumulating stuff, man. I've always been like, if I see something on the side of the road that I think is worth money, I grab it. Whether I'm going to sell it at
Yeah.
a garage sale or on marketplace or whatever. I've always been like that. But during the
Right.
pandemic is pretty much when I started working from home. Okay. And I was watching my daughter a lot during that time. She was like 2 years old at the time, 1 or 2 years old. So I used to take her for walks in the neighborhood. And one day I found this whole bag of Lego next to a dumpster. And I'm like, oh man, let me grab that, throw it in the wagon, thinking, oh, be for the kids or something like that. Get it home. Well, I started looking at those Lego, and right off the bat, there's this Viking ship from like the late 90s. It's a huge Lego ship. It's like the Serpent versus the Vikings or whatever. Looked it up. The ship was worth $200. I'm like, holy cow, are you kidding me? So I downloaded the instructions, put it together, listed it on eBay, and man, that thing sold in like 2 days for like $220. I was like,
Man.
holy cow, this is wild. I hadn't
Yeah.
touched Lego since I was like 12, man. So then the other Lego that were in that bag were Star Wars Legos. So I put two of the ships together, and each one of those sold for $100. So I was like, man, what else do I got in here that I could sell on eBay? I got all kinds of stuff. So I told the wife, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put a goal to list one item a day for the next 30 days, and let's see what happens, right? Within 30 days, man, I grossed like over $1,000 in sales. So, I mean, at that point, I probably had like a $700 payout that month. And I mean, you know, if you're new to this, that's like life changing, or it was for me anyway. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, what if I do two a day, right? So started doing two a day, right? I started watching YouTube, like, hey man, what's a better way to list this stuff? I always learn stuff on YouTube, man, for working on cars. You know how it goes. And find all these resellers, right? I start watching Flipping Junk. I start watching Golden State Picker. Those are like the two guys that I watched the most at first, man. And I was just tripping out on how Wick from Flipping Junk would sell shoes. I was like, man, who in the world is going to eBay for shoes? Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then he like sold a pair of combat boots, and he was like, man, these combat boots, they really sell, they go quick. Okay, whatever. So I left to go pick up my daughter, my oldest daughter, from school that day. The same day, I mean, like I just got done watching it, got in my car, drove down the alley. My neighbor was moving out. He's a firefighter, and he put all his boots out by the dumpster. And there are all these firefighter boots that have like the leather cover on the front, Ariat boots, all these different brands I've heard of. I was like, I'll just throw them in the car. Didn't think much of it. I ended up grossing like $200 off of those boots, man. And I was just blown away. So I was like, So then I started going to the thrift store. I got a thrift store right up the street. I'm like, let me go over here and see what's happening, man. It was like a blindfold was removed from my eyes, dude. I was just like, is this real? I was like almost pinching myself, like, man, this don't even seem legal, man. This seems like, this doesn't seem like anything I've ever experienced, So, I mean, I was hooked. I was so hooked at that point.
Yeah.
So, gradually from 1 a day, next month I get 2 a day. And then as I started sourcing more, I started doing 3 a day. And then I hit like a plateau at 5 a day. And that's where I've been kind of stuck, man. Because it's like, I don't have to put a whole lot of time towards it. And I try to pick and choose my items, somewhat, try to scrutinize all the items that I pick. And just try to do 5 quality items a day,
All right.
So yeah, that's the basics of how I got into this.
Okay. Well, we're gonna jump back into your story, but in just a minute. But right now, we want to address everybody that is joining us here in the live. We've got my favorite Mary is in the house saying hi, guys, and then we have Shane Soda City Flip. This is gonna suck.
What's up, Shane?
And then Biscuit Butt. Wow, he's on time. Yes, I am. He's on time. And Josh, what's up, guys, is in the house. Bama Jaybird Resale.
Josh, what's up, buddy? I see T-Bone there. T-Bone's in there.
Yep. And then, Archie's originally from Kansas, Biscuit Butt. That's where he's.
Yeah. He's originally from Overland Park, which is actually about 60 miles from where I grew up in Topeka. So not too far. I did a lot of work in Overland Park, Johnson County. Yeah. Know all about it.
We got Reselling with Woody is here. Good to see you, Woody. Welcome into the show. And then we also have Simply Shenanigans joining us. And man, we just got a lot of activity here. Yeah, we got T-Bone in here. Here he is. He'll be lurking with the volume low. Therapy time. And so welcome in, everybody. We appreciate you joining us here on this hump day. We are naturally live with Chris Easy Pickens, and he has been a fairly long subscriber of the Rocky Top Picker channel here, and he always is great about leaving me awesome comments. And as I enjoy reading everybody's comments here on this channel, and I want to go back to a couple things with your story. For those of you that have not checked out Chris's YouTube channel, when he does his What Solds, it's impressive. It's totally impressive with the amount of money he is cranking out. He's living proof that eBay is not broke when people says it is. He's living proof that if you just sell the items that are in high demand, you're going to make some money. And, I've done a video on this channel. You spoke about it a few minutes ago. An extra $600-700 a month is life-changing. Well, there's people, I'm sure, throughout the course of the United States that an extra $100 a month would be life-changing for somebody. And that can easily be accomplished in reselling here on eBay. But I want to go back to what you mean. You mentioned your wife. Now, does she help you in the reselling business, or are you like me? Are you a one-man show?
Oh, yeah, I'm a one-man show, man. Between YouTube and eBay, source, all that, it's all me, man. There's nobody else. It's just one man.
Gotcha.
I got help. No, now she does help with everything else, but like the reselling thing, she supports me 150%. I got all her support, but it's right now at the stage of my thing. I'm kind of at the point where I don't want anybody touching it. Like I got to be in control of everything, man, because that's just the way I am.
Are you an obsessive compulsive? Are you? Are you?
Maybe about some things, but I don't claim. I'm not a self-proclaimed one.
I got you. All right, Woody's got a question for you. I guess this is towards you, Chris. where's the primary sourcing in your state, and what is readily available to you where you're at? Now tell everybody where you are. You're in
All right, so I'm in
Nebraska?
Southern California. I'm about 20 minutes from LAX airport. Okay, so Los Angeles
Okay.
County. Um, you know, I'm lucky. I live near a couple of wealthy areas, so I hit the thrift stores close to the wealthy, the wealthy houses. There's a couple that are like strategically placed where it's easy for these, wealthy people to just drop off their stuff when they're tired of it, man. And I swoop in twice a day, usually at the thrift stores. I'll go twice a day, man. Once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and it's pretty unbelievable the stuff that I find in there. So same thing with the garage sales. If I'm going garage selling, I'm not going inland. I'm staying right here by the coast. I'm gonna stay right here close where everybody's got, where all the houses are well over $2 to $3 million each. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm going there.
Right.
And sometimes they're real proud of their stuff, but man, sometimes they just want it gone. And just like you saw those little nitro motors I got, man. I walked out. That was in a pretty nice neighborhood, but I walked out of there. I spent $500 off that sale, and I probably generated $3,000 of sales out of that. I'll bet you.
Now, let the audience know what you're referring to with those little engines. What are they exactly, and what did you pay for them, and what did they end up selling for?
Okay, so there were these little nitro motors. So actually, I have one right here. This is a bigger one. This is like for an airplane or something. But I bought 8 of these little ones that were like an inch, about like 2 inches long, dude. I mean, they were tiny. They were noted as the world's smallest high performance engine, and I bought 8 of them for $30 a piece. I listed the first one for 180, and somebody offered me 150, so I took it. I listed another one for 180. I just listed them one at a time. I didn't do a multi quantity. Okay, I was just doing one at a time because I was trying to fill out what it was doing. I listed one for 180, and then that thing sold in one day. So it was like, okay. Well, I just kept listening for 180, man. And if I got any offers 150 or over, I just took it because I mean that's kind of how I run my business. Is I'm not trying to hold on for every last penny, man. I got to treat
Yeah.
this thing like a money pump. I need money in, money out. I mean, I can't afford to sit on it. And that's another reason that I've talked to you about promoting before, but that's another reason I promote it because I have such a small footprint for my store. I mean, you see my garage behind me. So I'm running a 400 item store, okay, and I sell I hit 598 items sold in 90 days this year. So if that gives you any kind of idea of the traffic I'm generating, I sold 1,800 items this year, and I guarantee you, if I wasn't using all these business practices I use, it would be much less than that.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
awesome.
typically, if I'm not in, if I'm not like super into one of the items, I definitely enable best offer. But if it's something that I really like, that might not get best offer or promoted. You know what I mean?
Got you.
But I definitely don't
Archie's,
promote every item. I treat every single item different.
yeah. Archie says meeting Rocky Top Picker was life changing. Yeah, I bet it was, Archie. We got J Rod in the house. Good to have
What's
you
up?
in here. Hit
What's up,
like
J
and
Rod?
subscribe, support the channel. Yeah, that'd be fantastic if you'd do that. And Archie also says this, Chris. Yeah, but $2 or $3 million homes are in California is 4 or 500. I don't know. You can read it there, whatever, elsewhere.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely. I mean, I'm I'm not saying these are like mansions, but the people that live there got money. No,
yeah,
seriously, Archie's 100% correct. A $3 million house here would be, between a $300,000 and $500,000 house, let's say in Johnson County, right? So at least that's what it used to be. I haven't been there for a long time, but
yeah.
yeah, the
What is
prices out here are stupid.
yeah. Now, do you like to go to do you like to go source at flea markets? Do you do a lot of that?
Well, I do swap meets. I guess that's pretty much the same thing. I don't know if I
Basically
really
the
have
same
flea
thing.
markets, but yeah, yeah. Well, my favorite swap meet to go to is out here in Long Beach. There's a high performance swap meet out there, and it's all car stuff. But it's all car related, but it doesn't have to necessarily be car parts, right? So like all the diecast, that's where I met my diecast hookup. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
found so much cool stuff out there, old toys, and you know, I I love it, man. I love finding all that stuff. I get a rush out of it.
What what is your favorite thing to sell, Chris?
Okay, so for money wise, golf clubs, dude. I mean, it's
Okay.
unbelievable, unbelievable. Like I sold what $18,000 in golf clubs this year, something like that. and I guarantee you, my investment was much less than that. The margins are really good on those, really
Yeah.
good.
Well,
What's my?
here's a question.
I love selling these die casts, man. Like these 1/18 scale die casts. Like, I mean, I have a couple that they're so detailed, man. They got like keys in the ignition. You can like turn the window cranks on them, and it's a 1/18 scale car. You know, I mean, it's just pretty unbelievable how
Well,
detailed they are. So I really get a kick out of those.
let me ask you about that die cast. It's 124 scale, you said, right?
Well, I do
Do
1/18,
you,
1/24, yeah.
okay. Do you find, I mean, diecast world is chopped full of NASCAR.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
I live 45 minutes away from the Bristol racetrack. You would think everything NASCAR would be going like hotcakes, but NASCAR stuff sucks, especially in the diecast from what I've found. Do
No,
you
I agree.
think that you agree with the same? Is it the same for you?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But drag racing, on the other hand, is the flip side of that. Okay. NASCAR, I think the problem with NASCAR is they mass produced it so much. I mean, I used to go to NASCAR races all the time, man. And I mean, they cost a little bit to start out, but you know, everybody just bottom, 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 bottom. And now, you know, the turnover with the drivers, you know, I mean, unless you got like a special edition Dale Earnhardt or Jeff Gordon or something like that, you know, that was limited edition, I don't find them worth money. I comp every time I see one, I comp it because I'm like, oh, maybe. But
Yeah,
yeah, I've had the same result as you, man.
yeah. Well, I got to ask you this. It's already been established that you're making good money in your eBay reselling business. Do you have any future goals in transitioning into being full time?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. You know, I mentioned one of my videos, like last year was kind of a testing ground. You know, I wanted to see what would happen if I did just 5 items a day for a year. And I grossed like, you know, I'm not afraid to share numbers, man. I grossed like 109,000 last year. Okay. So after it all said and done, man, that equates to I get about one third of that in my pocket, dude. After everything, you know how it goes, man. The fees, the taxes, the cost of goods, supplies, everything. I see about one third of that. So, you know, I consider that a success, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, we got
So for me to even,
Page 1 Foot
hey, what's
Flipper
up,
joined
Paige?
us.
Sweet.
He
So,
also agrees that he also agrees that NASCAR sucks. You can read that comment there. It does. It sucks.
man,
Now,
in my
let me
my
tell you,
experience, Paige usually knows what he's talking about.
the only success I've had with NASCAR related merchandise is some of the racing jackets. But they need to be like the ones I've had is like from the late 80s, early 90s. Those have fared pretty well as far as profit for me when it comes to NASCAR and is the jackets. Let's see here. And then we got Woody. He says
So
ball
yeah, I
caps
definitely
do.
want to transition into full time.
Yeah. When do you plan on doing that, by the way?
Well, it's pretty hard to walk away from a paying job, man. You know, it pays the bills. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard to walk away from that. But my passion is lying in reselling. So when am I planning on doing it? I'm ramping it up. I started, you know, this year. Every time I go to list, I'm listing at least 7 to 10 now. Okay, so I mean, I'm bumping it up. Um, I don't know when that transition is going to happen. I think my boss is on the chat too. So you know, I don't know
Oh,
when that's going
okay.
to happen.
Okay.
But he knows what I'm doing though. You know, he knows what I'm doing.
All right.
I by this time next year, I would hope to be full time reselling. Honestly,
Okay. That's totally doable, man. Totally doable. Um, here, let me ask you this, Chris. You know, and we all have processes that we do for our businesses. Do you do the end and sell similar process to your items?
I do, I do. And when I started doing this, I don't know if any of you guys watch Chase After the Right Price or Caterpie Crew or any of those guys. But that's where I learned this from, and it actually is a lot like what you do, Ben. And so if I check my seller hub every day, every morning, first thing I do is look to see how many items are ending that day, right? So bring up those items, whether it's 8 or 10 or 2 or 0, whatever. Bring up the items, end them all, and then check them all off. Sell similar. And I go through, make sure the title's good. The price I usually drop, 5%, something like that, because it's already been there 30 days. So get this stuff moving. I don't really think about the cost of goods so much after the first month, because by that time I'm like, it's a stale item to me after a month. Honestly, after a month, it's stale. I want it out. So if I get any bites on it, it's going. Obviously, I'm not going to lose money on purpose, but I look at it like recouping the money, man. If it's stale, let me get that money back and put it towards something that's going to sell.
Right.
So I do that with all those items every day, and then immediately after that, I go through and delete the ones that I've ended. Right. So there's no confusion. There's no back and forth. No wondering, oh, how come this item isn't listed, right, or whatever. I think maybe people get caught up like that. It's a pretty hot topic lately. It's like, oh, my listings are disappearing. Well, maybe they are. I haven't had that happen, but
yeah,
I run a pretty tight ship on my listings too. I have a small store, man. I've only got currently I think I only got like 340 items or something in there. I mean, I had it up to almost 500 right before right around October, November. But man, like I said, I was stocking it up, man, with all the Christmas stuff, man. I'm like, I want stuff. I see stuff like, will somebody buy that for a present for somebody? That was how I was looking at stuff. And then check see if it's sold, if any sold, But I use sell through rate on a lot of items, but it's not the end all be all for me. Okay, and I've heard you comment on that too. It's like, just because you don't see one sold doesn't mean it won't sell. Okay, but if there's 30 of them listed and none have sold, then maybe not, right? But if there's only 1 or 2 and none have sold, maybe they're just overpriced. I'll undercut them. Boom. A lot of times that'll happen. That'll go. If I think something's cool, that's usually my first thing. If I see something that is cool, that I think is cool, or that I think somebody wants, or something desirable, that's my decider to take a look at it and then start researching.
Well, you talk about the end and sell similar process, and you made the point that you got to be sure to go back into your unsolds and delete those after you've hit them and send them back out on end and sell similar. Because if you don't, you'll come back the next day and you'll think, well, man, why haven't I got these live in my store? And all of a sudden you've got duplicate listings, and then a duplicate listing will sell 2 times. And then you've got to cancel an order with a buyer. And eventually that leads to dings on your account. And we do not want that happening. So that is a meticulous process that you have to stay on top of when you're doing the end and sell similar, for sure. And let me ask you this too. We know that you end and sell similar. Do you ever run any discounts, 10% off, 15% off? Do you do any sales like that?
Yeah, I do from time to time. Anything that's like 2 months or older, I'll run like a 15% off. And then if I get bites on it, I'll send another 10% off to the watchers, just get it out. Right before Christmas, I put 25% off on anything that was 90 days or older. And man, that thing blew up. I mean, I'd have a Monday morning, I have to ship out 40 items, man. I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to do that too many times in a row. Shoot, I don't mind boxing up 5 or 10, man. But you talk about 40 items, that's going to take you half the day,
Well, do you do what's your shipping policy? Do you do next day, 2 day, or what do you do?
2 days.
2 days?
Yeah, I did 1 day, and with free returns for about 3 months, man, to get that top rated plus, and it was not worth it, man. I got returns from people. They're like, oh, I just don't like it. Like, man, this ain't Amazon. What are you talking about? So I turned off that. And then the 1 day, you can kind of get yourself in a bind sometimes. Like if you got, I sell a wide range of stuff, man. So I don't always have the box that I need. Sometimes I got to run down to U-Haul and get a lamp box to put a golf bag in, and but then there ain't no lamp box. Like, shoot, now I got now what? Right now I got to Frankenstein something. Well, now I got to feed the kids. I got to do work. You know what I mean? So, long story short, I went to 2 days because I can work with 2 days.
Yeah.
Because I don't want any dings, man. I got 100% on everything. I don't want any dings on my account.
I got you. Mary says, when I was selling on Facebook and Macari, I sold the same item on both platforms overnight. It only happened once, but luckily it was to the same person and she was cool about it. Well, that was a very fortunate outcome when that goes. But let me ask
I've heard
you,
of that.
speaking of that, Chris, do you just sell on eBay or what other platforms do you take advantage of?
No, man, I live in an eBay world. Um, I sell stuff on Craigslist, but that's all like big stuff, car parts and stuff that I don't want to mess with shipping at all. I mean, I'm not afraid to ship anything, but man, if it's over 48 inches or, over like, 30 pounds, I ain't gonna mess with shipping it most of the time, unless it's big money. If it's big money, I'll freight it out. I don't care, but day-to-day stuff, no, it's just eBay.
Okay. Reselling with Woody says, I finally started my YouTube channel, so be patient while I start working on content. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out Reselling with Woody. Give him a sub to his channel. In this community, which is vast, but we operate in a small niche of the reselling world community, I feel. And I think it's very important that we help each other wherever we can, whether it's help us with ideas for shows, help us get subs on our channels. Let's help each other grow one another. And I'm a firm believer in that. That's one of the reasons why I do these lives is I wanted to help Chris. He's been a great supporter of my channel. Wanted to get him on here in case you guys have not really met him and get to know him. I hope you will do so by giving him a sub. And then my other co-host from the Reseller Locker Room, we got Shane Soda City in here. But Alex, the Beard King Picker, has finally joined us, which brings me to my next subject. And he's gonna hit me hard in chat when I bring this up. So, Chris, when you sell an item, do you ever get a buyer's note attached to it asking you special instructions on how to pack an item or what to do? Do you get those?
Yeah.
Do you sell any plush at all?
Rare, very rare. Once in a while.
With that plush sale, if you had a buyer message you and say, please take extra special care of my plush so it doesn't get damaged, would you throw that plush in a poly bag and call it done, or would you put it in a box to be sure that it's being taken care of?
I got one question. What's the price point?
Let's say it's a $4.50 plush.
No, let's go in a poly. Let's go in a poly.
Oh no, dude, you did not.
I'm all about customer service, man, but let's not be ridiculous here. A $4 plush? Are you kidding me? No, man. It's going in a poly, man. If they don't like it, I got free returns, man. Well, I did. They can say item is not as described, and I'll give them full refund, man.
So look what Alex said. He goes, see, he was doing. Alex, let me back this up. Alex was doing a live TikTok last week, and I went into his show, and he sold this $4.50 plush, and he read this buyer's note, and he just grabbed a poly and just threw it in there. And I went, oh, wait a minute now. They're telling you to take special care of this. You need to throw that in a 9x6x4 box because, dude, if they get that thing and if they're not happy for whatever reason, they're going to leave you negative feedback, dude. They're going to slam you by not paying attention to their note. He did put it in a box to give him credit, bless his heart. He had to spend 50 more cents on a box to send a plush in it. But, I always thought that was funny. Sorry, Alex. I had to keep using that story. I wanted to get Chris's take. It worked out in your favor this time, so you should be a happy man.
Now let's talk about draft bank. Oh, just kidding.
Oh, let's talk about draft banks. Do you do a draft bank?
No.
Really?
No, I don't, man. No, I the most I'll list in one time is maybe 15, and all those are getting published immediately. I totally understand. I've heard your standpoint on it, and I mean I get it. What it doesn't work for me. You know, like
Yeah.
I would be going crazy, being like, man, what if that person that wanted it was looking before it was published, you know, and they found it from somebody else, you know what I mean? So that's just kind of how I look at it. I mean,
Well,
the way I'm seeing stuff is there's no right or wrong way to do any of this, man. It's like what works for you, dude. You know, I mean, if you can bang out 50 or 100 listings in one day, that sounds like a nightmare to me. But you know, if you can do that and publish them out, man, hey, more power to you, brother. You know, that's awesome. But that definitely does not work for me or my mentality. So.
Archie says, Alex, I would have just canceled and given their money back and blocked them. And then he goes on to say, let's see, what it seems that everybody, that's the answer to everybody nowadays, is just to block the buyers. Have you had to block a lot of buyers, Chris?
My block list is, you know, about 20 deep, probably. I don't put up with BS, man. If somebody wants to keep hitting me with lowball offers, nah, get out of here, man. I done told you what I done told you. I came back when I come back to you with the same price 2 times, that's it, man. You know, I'm done with you.
I am in triple digits on block list. You want to listen, my fuse is about that big when it comes to dealing with certain buyers, dude. I mean, you just ask me the wrong question on the wrong day, I'm blocking you. You're blocked. No, I'm exaggerating, but I do feel like that most times. But you know, we've talked about on my channel and on the Locker Room channel, you know, we talk about the importance of customer service and how you need to follow through all the way to the end. And even after they receive the item, if they have further questions, you need to be expedient in answering those questions. Don't just
100%.
ignore them. Just because you got their money now, you can just let them go. You should follow through if they ever come back on you with just a simple question or whatever. But
yeah, you know what I do, which most people probably don't do this, but I find that once I started doing this, I started getting a lot more feedback from people. Is as soon as I ship an item, as soon as it's scanned in, I give them positive feedback. I'm like, okay, the buyer has done his part up to this point. Let me give him positive feedback, you know, and it usually starts it off on the right foot. You know, I ship fast. I always do 1-day shipping, but I have a 2-day window. You know what I mean? Like, I don't let stuff just sit around. Like, I don't have anything going out right now. Like, it's all gone. It's all out.
Yeah,
I try to hold to the 1 day. So then people, you know, and then that gets, it overshoots people's expectations too. So like, oh, I got it early, and he gave me feedback before I even got it. Holy cow, you know. So kind of see, I see that work for me.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you watch Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker.
Yeah, well, sometimes
he put out a show. He put out a video. It's been a couple of days ago, and it was dealing with a scenario that actually happened to him, where he had a buyer purchase a Funko Pop, and he shipped it out, and the next day or the day after, another package from that same buyer came back to him, but it was in a mailer bag leaking some kind of fluid. And then when he signed into eBay, that buyer started a return on that Funko, of which they have not even received yet. And then he received this other package back, which is not a Funko Pop unless that thing knows how to pee, you know, because it had fluid coming out of the package. So, you know, he's went through all the proper channels, but, you know, there's a breakdown in this system of returns and having it automated and having eBay just automatically approve things, when there really ought to be eyeballs on every return situation. Because, you know, what's happened is this buyer is going to end up getting this item totally for free, and eBay's normal response is going to be more than likely, well, we're going to refund the buyer their money, and Kevin, we're going to let you keep your money. But that doesn't fix the problem. I mean, through this process of which he described, there's a particular buyer that's hit several other resellers have come forward to Kevin, and they've been done the same way. So there's people out there that are finding loopholes in this automated system of returns to where they're getting away with free merchandise, and it's not solving the problem by letting us keep our money and refunding them too. That's not solving the issue. What is your take on that?
Well, I mean, the worst part of all this is you don't know what you're getting back in the mail. So like I saw a Wick from Flipping Junk, the same thing happened to him, man. And it's happened to him twice, and he did a video on each one of them. And that's the crap. Yeah, exactly. That's the crap that's dangerous for us resellers. So then now I feel like we're not protected by eBay under any circumstance, right? It's like, okay, well, these guys are going to find loopholes and get over on us. It is what it is, okay? But now, if we're in danger, they're still ignoring it. That's a problem, dude. So that's my take, man. I mean, like they should have a special force for like, hey, man, if somebody is potentially dangerous, eBay should take over, man. It should be reported to the police and everything else, man. That's my take on that.
Yeah. Well, guys, I don't know how you feel about it in chat, but if you haven't watched Kevin's video on that story, you need to go back and watch it. It can happen to every single one of us if it's not happened to some of you already. I'm telling you, you're really correct when you say that eBay needs to have more protective measures in place to protect us as sellers.
Well, yeah, I mean, and if I got something like that, it would go straight in the trash can. I mean, I wouldn't even, or maybe I'd make a video on it first, but I definitely wouldn't be opening it, man. I mean, come on, there's too much stuff out there,
Yeah. Rad Relic says, I bet it's meatballs. Yeah. Let's see who else we got in here.
Roman's in here. What's up, Roman?
Jeff says eBay is eliminating. Yeah, I saw that around 1,000 jobs, 9%. So what's next for resellers? Well, I think any big corporate entity has plenty of room to cut a lot of extra fat. I mean, corporate payrolls are just
hopefully those jobs are overseas help desk. You know what I'm saying? Like the people on the overseas that they hire. Hopefully that's who they were started with, right? Yeah. When you get people, you get on the line. You know that you're not talking to anybody in the United States. You're talking to somebody in another country. Hopefully it's those people they're cutting first, man.
Yeah.
But I didn't see details.
Yeah, Roman Ben Archie told me that he wants to move the locker room to Uzbekistan. Hello, everyone. What's up, Roman? Can't even pronounce that, dude. Archie also says John with Flippin' Ain't Easy channel has had a box of rotten meatballs and a spare tire sent to him in returns. Holy crap, dude. Are you kidding? That's terrible. Paige, I always tell my wife not to worry about the creepy fans. The more popular and the more attractive YouTubers are going to attract the creeps. That's true, Paige. All right. Rad says, are you ready for the summer? Are you ready for some meatballs? That was a great movie. Probably my second fave Bill Murray movie after Groundhog Day. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It is a good one. That's right. But yeah, I mean, let's go back to where we were talking about the drafts. There's a misconception, I think, because I've had people send me emails about this. Archie, me and him's argued this point till we're blue in the face, and we talk on the phone about every day. But it could be called the digital death pile, but that would be only if you left them in your draft bank, you see. But when I build mine's rolling 10, 15 items every day out by scheduled listings. So it's like a funnel. It's not sitting there. Right. And so anyway, we won't get all into that, but anyway.
Hey man, if it works for you, that's awesome, dude. If you only have to list one day a week and you can blow it out, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sit in front of this. I do all my listing on a desktop. I've tried my phone. I can't stand it. It's too small. I'm blind as a bat. I can see better on my big monitor because I'm 51 years old and I'm older than dirt. So I have to have a big monitor. But yeah, I don't want to be sitting in front of this computer every day. And so especially when yard sale season starts to kick up, which is generally the 1st of April here in East Tennessee, I want to be out on the road. I don't want to be sitting in here listing. You know what I mean?
So how many hours do you sit down and list, man? If you're blowing out that many listings, what you said, like 8 hours straight or what?
Sometimes I'll do 6 to 8 hours. Most of the time, it's about 5 hour run. And another thing that I do too is, like if I have a bunch of hats, I use a template, a listing template, and I can just create, like if I got 20 hats, I'll create 20 identical templates and then just go in there and alter the title because it's going about weigh the same. It's about going to be in the same dimension box. That's another thing. I do not ship hats in a poly mailer. You
Oh
ship
no.
hats in boxes. And so that enables me to blast through 20 listings using a template. In 10 minutes, I can have 20 hats listed. So
Now,
that's helpful.
now, do you? Sorry to interrupt you. Now, question: do you go for dollar amount or item amount when you're listing, like your goals, your daily goals for listing? Do you go for dollar or items?
Dollar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I do the same. Like I do a minimum dollar amount. My minimum dollar amount is like 300, but it has to be 5 items at least. Like that's kind of
right.
what my
Now,
strategy has
now,
been anyway.
do you deal a lot in electronic items or like video games and all that, consoles and stuff like that?
Last year I bought. I came up on a contact and they're moving back to London. Okay, and this dude had all this video game stuff he wanted to sell. So I went to a private pick and I basically gave him $1,000 for 100 video game items. Okay, and man, it was all the rare video game stuff. And it was a lot of stuff was PAL. I don't know if you know what that is, like overseas games that don't play on the systems here. And there was just a lot of collector box sets and all this stuff. And I mean, I think I grossed like 4,000 off of that buy, which goes right in line with my strategy, but it was a bulk buy. But long story short, I don't usually do video games that much unless they're really good. When I first got into it, the height of the pandemic was kind of when I got into it, kind of like a lot of people, I guess. But Wii bundles were going for Wii Sports bundles were going for 120 bucks, 130 bucks. So hell yeah, I was jumping on that. I think the last Wii bundle sports bundle I sold was like $65. I'm like, man, it ain't even worth the time, dude. And then you go to garage sales, people are all proud of them, So I usually don't mess with video games that much. It used to be low hanging fruit, but now it's just kind of a pain in the ass or a pain in the butt, really. So trying to keep it
Yeah.
PG, man.
You
But
got to
I
hit
slip
that
up
beat.
once in a while.
You got to hit that beat button. There you go. Yeah. Don't never forget that the customer is not always right. Yeah,
That ain't
I agree.
nobody.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But you know what? With video game consoles and stuff like that, that brings up a point. For those of you seasoned resellers, if you don't go through your entire store at least once a year to review the market on your items that you've had in there, because the market
Good
fluctuates.
point.
What's hot today may not be hot next month, because it's a fluid situation on merchandise. So what I try to do it twice a year, go through my entire store and then, do the Terapeak research on the item, find out what's changed in the pricing that where it's been selling at, and adjust accordingly. That to me is just good housekeeping in your store and in your business, because you want to keep your items fresh to the buyer, but you also want to keep the pricing fresh to the buyer. And
Yeah.
the only way you can do that, unless you just want to blindly mark everything down, which we do that sometimes, most of the time, but to do it accurately, to get it right, do your back research on that item again and find out what the current market value is on that item. That's my suggestion.
If you keep a small store like I do, you don't really have to do that. Keep everything moving. I mean, of course, I have some stale items, but they're already at the bottom of the price point, so
Yeah.
not lower nose anymore. You mentioned Terapeak. I saw something interesting the other day. It goes back 3 years now if you hit the drop down. I don't know if you knew that or if you saw that. So it defaults to 2 years back on Terapeak, but if you hit the
Yeah.
drop down, there's an option for 3 years. I didn't know that until just recently.
3 years. That's good. That's good. All right, Chris, have you ever been to any of the reseller meetups yet?
I have not.
You gonna plan on going to any this year?
I don't know. Is there going to be any in Southern California or what? Come out here
Do
where
you
it's
like it?
nice, where the good weather is, man. I don't, I'm going. I'm not going to go to that Midwest meetup. I'm going to go freeze my butt off, man. No,
Well,
I'd like to meet a lot of the guys that are going, but yeah, if
well,
it's close, if there's not like maybe the next one is in Vegas, man. Is there going to be one in Vegas this year? Because that's somewhat close to me.
we have to wait on we have to wait on the Trash to Cash guys to see if they're going to do the Vegas one. If they are, I will be attending that. But we have one here in Middle Tennessee the first weekend in August. It's called the Highway 127 sale, and it's the world's largest yard sale. It actually goes way up north and comes down through Middle Tennessee all the way down into Alabama. And we had the Two Old Guys Reselling Podcast meetup was there in Crossville, Tennessee last year that we went to. Well, we're going to be doing that again, and I'm going to be partnering as well as my other guys from the locker room and other folks of helping Caleb put together that event for this year. So it'll be the Two Old Guys Reselling Podcast meetup and event. And I co-hosted with Caleb on his podcast last night. You can catch
Oh,
that
sweet.
being released tomorrow. And we talked at great length about getting the processes together to get that event planned. But there's nothing like summertime in August in Middle Tennessee because let me tell you what, it's hotter than a bloody firecracker.
Probably
Yeah.
humid as hell too, huh?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Mary says
So
the
yeah, like
boss.
where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, I say where I'm at right now, the weather fluctuates for all year. Like the coldest it gets will be like 45, and then the hottest it'll get like maybe 85, maybe 90. On a hot ass day, it'd be 90.
Yeah.
But then we got the ocean breeze, so But yeah, not trying to rub it in. But yeah, when I hear about all those extreme temperatures, man, I lived in Kansas for 30 years, so when I hear about those extreme temperatures, I just get flashbacks to that stuff, man. I don't want to do
Well,
that.
let me tell you what it's like here where I am. Last week, we had highs in the teens. At night, it was single digit near zero. Today now, it was 70 degrees. And this day last week, it was a high of 12. So Tennessee is the only place in a course of one day that you can get a sunburn during the day and freeze your hind end off at night, all in the same day.
Crap. That's
Yeah.
wild. I've heard of temperature fluctuations, but dang, that's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's not normal though, right? Like that's some kind of freak of what's like the ozone layer going away and stuff, right? I mean, that's global warming stuff or something.
It was rare that we had that Arctic blast swoop down this far. That doesn't happen. Our normal winters don't even get as cold as it has been. So that is a rare event.
Man. Yeah, that cold is brutal.
But yeah, man, I know Trash to Cash guys. They've had a meetup in Vegas last year. They just had the one in Orlando, the Winter Bash. They're probably going to do the one in Vegas, so you may ought to make plans to come out there on that. Archie says, I never go by the dollar amount or number amount to list today. I just go and tell it's ready to nap. He ain't lying.
Nap? What's a nap? I don't even know what that is, man.
Yeah. But anyway, I didn't block you, Roman. He's saying I blocked him. I didn't block you, man. There you are, right there. See. But yeah. So you're Chris. You're fortunate to live where you do. That you have access. They have yard sales stuff going on year round where you're at, right?
Yeah, it does. In my experiences, I've been doing this the last 3 years now. Like Christmas through New Year's, you're not going to find much, but before and after, it's on. Like last week, I probably hit 10 sales last weekend.
Do you know what?
Yeah, it's year round.
Can you think of one single item that you profited the most off of? Do you know what that is?
I had a big sale just recently. I had those mongoose and snake Hot Wheel diecast combo set sell for $700. I paid 300, so I probably saw $300 out of that deal. That was a pretty good cut right there. That my biggest sales, they hover between 3 and 400. I don't have the exact example pulled up. I should have. I thought I was prepared for everything you're going to ask, but I guess I didn't have that
That,
one ready. But
that's all
yeah,
right.
it's about a $400 profit is my biggest profit. I think it was this crock pot I bought. It was a pretty good one. Okay, it wasn't a crock pot. It was a Dutch oven. Okay, so it was a Staub brand ceramic coated cast iron Dutch oven. It's green and it was shaped like a pumpkin. Okay, I picked it up at an estate sale for 150. It sold same day for 499. Well, that was a pretty good one.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
ceramic coated Dutch ovens, man. If you guys see those, don't sleep on those, man. Look them up because the first one I bought for $20 at a yard sale sold for 250 same day, dude. I mean, it blew me away. So now every time I see one, a Dutch oven, the Dutch oven is just like a big cast iron pot with a lid, okay. And if they're ceramic coated, just look them up. And if they say made in France, I guarantee you they're gonna be worth a minimum of $100, dude.
yeah. You know, that reminds me when I was at the 127 sale, I picked up, and I've sold 3 of these so far. It's made by this company called Magnalite, I believe is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Wagner is what it was.
So
And
polished.
it's a big silver polished roaster, deep like you put a turkey in with a dome lid.
Yep.
And man, I remember the first one that I bought, I gave $5 for that thing, and it sold for $185. And then I found one at 127. The dude wanted $10 on it. Turned around, brought that home, got it listed because I knew that this was going to bring some money. It sold for around 135 plus shipping.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
those Wagner roasters, dude, they bring some money.
yeah. You ain't lying, man. I bought one at the Salvation Army not too long ago for $20, dude. And I got it home. I like Windexed it, I got it all cleaned up. I didn't really have to polish it, was just dirty, like from just being handled. The inside was perfect, dude. And it had a little insert in it. There's like a little insert, like a perforated insert that goes in there. And yeah, I sold it for like 145, and it sold in a few days, So
I tell
yeah,
you,
for sure.
if you get any of those type items, it's got a lot of buildup on it. If you use the barkeeper's friend, that liquid
I've heard of
polish
that.
stuff, man, it works great on silverware too. And silverware is another big ticket item. If you get into this antique silverware, if you want to invest your time into learning the patterns of the silverware, the maker marks, and all that. I mean, I've got friends that sell just serving spoon. One dude that I know sold just one serving spoon for over $100.
Wow.
One spoon. So, but I'm lazy and I don't want to take the time to learn all those old patterns. Silverware to me is boring, but
Yeah.
if you want to put the time in to learn it, go for it.
Yeah. I don't mess with silverware much. Like I found one silver spoon one time. It was like a big like soup spoon, and it was silver, and it was at Salvation. And like 2 days before that, somebody was telling me, "Oh, you're not going to find any silver here. They go through everything." I'm like, "Oh yeah, we'll see about that." And then 2 days later, I found one, and I sold it for like $40 on eBay.
Now
And I paid like $5 or something. It was priced like a normal spoon.
Here's what I'm always looking out for is Cutco knives, dude.
Well, and you can spot those a mile away.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll talk over you. You can spot them a mile away from the handle. Only one knife has that handle.
Yep. So I'm always looking out for Cutco, dude. But anyway, Carol has joined us. Carol is also a good supporter of the channel. Good evening, Carol. So glad you made it in. And just to recap, we are here talking with Chris Easy Pickens. He's got a YouTube channel. You can see all his information where you can find him down below on the scroll bar. Be sure to go over there and give him a sub. He works hard in his videos. And if anything, you're going to learn something. You're going to learn that there is so much money out there to be made. He's going to show you some things that you probably had no idea that you can make that kind of money on it. That is at least what I've learned by watching your What Sold videos. And, What Sold videos, I've done a lot of them on my channel, but they're kind of my favorite ones to watch on other channels because that's where the real education is, I think. I mean,
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. I don't really watch many of the picking channels too much. I watch, Wick with dang it, I mentioned him earlier. I can't even think at the moment. Flipping junk. That's who it is. Wick. So he does both, right? Almost all of his
yeah,
videos, he does, his haul. He does a pick and then his haul, and then he'll touch base on what sold. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, pretty much everybody I watch is the what solds because, like I said, I mean, it's education, and it definitely helps to see. It opens your eyes. I mean, like the first year that I was doing this, I mean, I was basically just picking up or noticing things off that I saw off of what solds. It just gives you a good feel for things. I mean, I like to think I already have a good eye, but man, I watch everybody's what solds. I mean, like Josh with Bama Jaybird, man, he's selling belts. I'm like, I never even thought about looking at a belt before. That's crazy. That's so cool.
yeah. Oh
And
Lord,
I'm saying I never understood that people would buy shoes on eBay, but now I buy shoes on eBay because, like, I wear a brand of New Balance that they don't make anymore. So I'm like, okay, that's why people are buying shoes on. They're buying shoes they can't find anywhere, right? Like I can't
yeah,
find my New Balance 990 V5s in the color I want anymore. They don't make them. So they're $200 shoes normally. So I find them on eBay almost new for 140, and now I'm the guy buying used shoes. I was like, 2 years ago, I'm like, who the hell would buy new shoes? So now like, oh, it's a whole new world, man. It was like
yeah,
a blanket is lifting off my eyes, man, for real.
yeah. You got a question there, Chris, down below.
I guess we'll see what happens, Carol, huh?
Mhm.
I think it'll be a good game. I hope we don't get blown out, but I think you guys will have your hands full.
Absolutely. Archie says Boss Remix will be 2025 spring, no 2024, unfortunately. So what we're going to be looking at here, guys, as far as a meetup goes in Vegas, it's only going to be if the Trash to Cash guys um, have one, unless Sonny and Art of Resale they try to put together something with Carrie. I don't know, but generally the Boss Remix is every year, but they're not having it this year. So all right, if you wear New Balance shoes, is that a Corvette under the tarp behind you?
It is not a
What?
Corvette. You call me an old man, that's cool. Whatever.
Get used to
No,
it, Chris.
if you want to see that car, go check out my channel. How about that? If you want to see that car,
Oh
go check
yeah,
out my channel. No,
yeah,
you see one of my shorts. It's not a Corvette.
yeah. You know what, Rad? Yeah. Ray, which is one half of the Nashville Flippers. They live in Nashville. They're going to be putting together a meetup in Nashville this spring. I don't have any other details. Alex is in Nashville, so he'll probably find all that out before I will know. If they do that this spring, I will be coming to Nashville. It's about a 3-hour drive for me. So that would be another possible meetup this spring. And Chris, if you don't mind flying, you should jump on a plane and come to that too.
Yeah, I'll have to look to see. Once the details are out there, I'll have to see what works.
Yeah. Oh, well, let me ask you
My
this,
hands are
man.
full right now, so I have to definitely plan some things. But if I'm gonna get out of town, man, that's a big plan because
Yeah.
shoot, my hands are
Well,
full.
so you try to keep a limit on your stale items in your store. You said. Now, the resellers do this differently. Everybody handles this differently. If people have got stale items, some will just delist them, throw them in a tub, and go donate them somewhere. Other resellers, if they have a Whatnot account, they'll just throw it on Whatnot and liquidate it off. Other resellers I've talked to, they'll just put it on an eBay auction, set it at 99 cents, and let it fly whatever it flies at. So, have you done any of those options, or what happens when you start running into truly dead that you can't even sell at a low price?
Honestly, I probably have probably 50 or 60 items in my store that have been there for a minute, and I just need to revisit it. I'll go back and put them on sale. Like I was saying, right before the holidays, I went and started a 25% off sale on anything that was older than 90 days. And so that's kind of how I handle it. what I run into is piles of stuff. I don't call it a death pile because it's not stuff I plan on listing. You know, like that's stuff I buy and I think I'm going to list it. I get it home and I change my mind. Like, oh, nope, that's not going in my store. You know, whether there's damage on it or whether I just miscomped it or something like that, or I was just wrong. That happens too. You know, sometimes I'm just wrong. I pick up the wrong item. So like this last Friday, I had a garage sale. You know, I started a garage sale first thing in the morning. And I know in my area, it's only resellers. Okay. It's only resellers on Friday morning. And they start coming in at 5:45 a.m. I know because I see all these guys whenever I'm out, you know. I know all these guys by first name. It's crazy. And they're all swap meet sellers, though. That's the thing. Okay. So I got a crap load of stuff that would be great at a swap meet, but maybe not cut out for eBay. So like I just blew out, I don't know how many items on Friday morning for $500, man. Just cash money in my pocket.
Yeah.
$500. Started, you know, whatever time, done by 9:30 a.m. And then that's how I handle it. I'll either do a swap meet stall, or I'll do a garage sale or a yard sale. For eBay stuff, if it's listed, I haven't yet delisted anything that I listed. But I probably have 50 items in my store that might be questionable.
Yeah. Yeah, having a yard sale of your own or garage sale, that's a good way. I personally think that's too much work. I don't want to do it, you know. But here's go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, and the other side of that was clearing out all my kids' stuff, man, because like our living room was full of toys, you know, just too much stuff. And then being a picker, I'm always bringing stuff home for the girls, you know, like, oh, look at this, you know, I'm gonna pass up on cheap toys for the girls, you know. So I just put out 2 tarps in the yard, poured all their toys out there. They were gone for the weekend, right? So I just poured all the toys out there, 2 for $1, right? And then sold my stuff that I had. And then when it was all said and done, I just put it all in the back of my truck and took it to Salvation or, you know, the thrift store and just donated it, man. Done. I came back. I felt like I'd lost 40 pounds, man. I was like, ooh, this feels good. Shoot. Walk into the house. Man, this feels good. No clutter. And then the kids come home like, oh, where's our toys? You know, and I'm like, well, what are you looking for? All our toys. Like, yeah, tell me one thing you're missing. They couldn't come up with one thing.
There you go.
It was all good.
Well, you got a question down there.
70 Chevelle SS 454 LS5 car.
That makes a good model in a Hot Wheel too, by the way. Hot Wheels. Love that body style, dude. Love it. Love it. One of my favorites.
Yeah. It's my favorite too. One of my favorites.
Oh, there's a good point that Paige makes. I usually throw stuff away because I don't want resellers making the same mistake on the item that I did. That's another way of looking at it.
Right? It's like all these guys I'm selling to, they're at the swap meet, so you know I ain't worried about them. And if they're gonna buy it, I'll take their money, man. I ain't gonna have no sympathy for them. Then nobody had no sympathy for me.
Yeah, I got you. Well, let me ask you this, man. Have you ever been on the Whatnot app and looked at doing any sourcing off of Whatnot before?
No, I tried. I saw one of your videos actually, and you mentioned it. So I was like, that sounds like an interesting idea. So I was like, oh, all these people have these links for $15 off, you know. So I went and followed somebody's link, and then I signed up. Well, I didn't do it right. I didn't get the freaking credit, so I never even went on the platform. I was like, yeah. But yeah, I need to visit that because I hear about all these resellers selling their stuff super cheap, you know. So it's like, well, first of all, why is it on Whatnot, not on eBay? Second of all, you know, what's the price point? So I guess I got questions.
Yeah, when I've sat down, you know, we're just now into the new year. When I sat down and reviewed last year's performance, I look at everything and I look at, you know, what was the results of the different source paths that I used? Where did I make the most money from? I mean, you obviously have yard sales, garage sales. That's one category. Then you have estate sales. That's one category. Then you have Goodwill, you have thrift stores, you have community fundraiser events. So I track all that and I keep up with what's producing. In my top 3 sourcing areas, number 1 profit, of course, for most resellers will probably say the same. That would be yard sales, garage sales, because your cost of goods is so small. So that's been my number one. My number two source of where I source at that produces profit is my local Goodwills. You know, I've heard a lot of videos, watched a lot of videos that Goodwills are just hiring kites, and they probably are in some areas of the country, but where I am, it's still awesome. And then my third top source for purchasing items is off of Whatnot, the profit that it's brought. So
Interesting.
yeah, that
Interesting.
would be my top three places that I source that produces the most profit.
All right. Yeah, mine are right in line with yours. Then after the yard sales first, and then the local thrift stores for sure. I mean, I find unbelievable finds almost every day in there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Third is estate sales, and then swap meet. So I like hitting estate sales on the 50% off day, because the first day they're kind of high priced, but a lot of times people bypass the stuff because they're higher priced, but they don't come back for the half price day. So I buy stuff I like to buy at garage sales. It's got a stuff that's out of my wheelhouse a little, like or estate sales is like a crystal, like a Swarovski crystal, or however you say it.
Yeah.
I've been buying a lot of crystal, and those things sell, man. It's pretty wild, Like the estate sales seem to undervalue them, and they go for maximum profit online. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
Rad says I'm a Corvette and Mustang guy, but he loves the Chevelles.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm a car guy. You probably see me wear a Ford hat before, and I got a Chevy in the driveway. I got a Pontiac sign on the wall, So I don't discriminate. I love all classic cars. I respect them all. It don't have to be my favorite, but I respect them all. I was a Pontiac guy alone for a very long time, and then I opened my eyes to Chevy and whatever else. But
yeah. Yeah. Paige says big lots can be good on Whatnot when they show up. Your competition drops to only resellers then. Yeah. And, my experience on Whatnot, Paige, and I'm sure you could say the same, is I like finding those newbie shows where they're excited and they want to move merchandise. And I just point blank ask them. I mean, they know what I'm doing by my username when I come into their show. I'm
sure.
like, look, show me everything you got. If you ain't got it preloaded, I want to see everything you got. And then I'll just say, throw this over in a pile for me and move to the next item. Let me look at that. Throw that in my pile. Throw that in my pile. And then at the end, we start negotiating. All right, what one price are you going to start this out at for me? And then we just take it from there. And I've been buying in bulk lots, vintage hats, vintage t-shirts, jerseys. Yeah, Chris. So I would encourage you at some point to get back into that Whatnot,
Yeah,
dude, and start spending some time.
yeah. You mentioned clothes, man. That's my least favorite category. That's the opposite side of your question earlier. So, I told you my favorite stuff. My least favorite stuff is clothes. I got like all these jerseys hanging here. I haven't listed them because I'm not set up for it. I don't have a flat lay or whatever, and I don't care about it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun selling stuff that I like, but yeah.
Yeah. Rad says, I drive a Chevy truck. We have an 06 GT, 2020 GT. I have an old 86 square body in the process of getting back on the road. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. One of my dailies is a 97 Dakota, regular cab, short bed, Hotchkiss suspension, dropped 4 inches with the V8 5-speed. So that's my runaround truck.
Yep. Now, Chris, Paige brings up a good point. If you can catch ADH Dave on his Whatnot shows, listen, when he sails on there, he blows stuff out, dude. You can get some good deals from Dave when he gets ready to get a wild hair. He'll start blowing stuff out, and you can really make some good profit off of what you get from him. Mary says, I agree about clothes. If I wind up with any, they just set, so I try not to wind up with any. I do pretty well selling clothes. I mean, I do. I do pretty well selling
I'm sure they sell. I have sold some jerseys in the past. I sold a hockey jersey, Red Wings hockey jersey. I picked up at a yard sale for $5. It had a stain on it. I sprayed it with Shout, threw it in the washer, came out perfect. Listed it sold for like $140. So I mean, I know the money's there in a lot of those jerseys, Yeah, but that's my main experience with clothes. That's my high price sale for clothes.
Did you ever get into sports cards, baseball cards, basketball cards, anything like that?
No, I bought like a whole box of baseball cards when I was first starting out picking. And then I quickly realized that was a bad buy. So I sold the whole box on eBay for like, $5 more than I paid for it or something. So I basically broke even. I think I paid 15 or 20 bucks for it. But yeah, I paid for
Okay.
my education on that one.
Woody asks, "How do you
Like,
guys
it's too
make out of
it's too
estate sales?" I find everything is overpriced, or maybe he's cheap. Well, Woody, if you're cheap, that's nothing to feel bad about because I am cheap too. If you have something marked 50 cents, I'm going to talk you down to a quarter. That's how cheap I am. But let me tell you about estate sales for me. Then Chris can reply to his answer. Uh, I like to go on the first and second, and usually they're 3 days around here where I'm at. They do a 3 day sale, and they do full price first day. They do basically a full price second day. The third day, they mark everything half off. So, what I like to do is gauge what's there the first day, see what's left after the first day on the second day. Then, the third day, if there's still stuff there, then I'm pulling triggers and I'm cutting deals because these estate sale companies, they don't want to fool with this stuff. They want to try to get rid of it so they don't have to haul it off. So, for me, that's my strategy. Chris, do you have any estate sale stories?
yeah, I look at how many days they're running and I go third day for the last day. A lot of times I'll do 2 days. Actually that Dutch oven I was talking about, that green pumpkin shaped Dutch oven, I was at an estate sale the first day and it was at the end of the day. So they closed at like 3 o'clock. I was there at like 2:45 or something. It was after I went and dropped off my shipments and I saw an estate sale sign. I was like, oh, pulled in. Saw that they had it marked $300, and I'm like, oh man, that's too much. So I was like, hey, when are you guys going tomorrow? They're like, oh yeah, it'll be 50% off tomorrow. I'm like, oh, well, what time do you close? Oh, we're closing in 10 minutes. Oh, well, why don't you give me the half price deal right now? Okay, we'll do that. So yeah, that's how I got that. But yeah, I won't pay their first day prices. Like you said, they're trying to get all the money they can, and I get it. More power to them. And I think a lot of people that go on the first day isn't the resellers; it's the old lady collectors. Well, I shouldn't say that,
Yeah.
but the older people that go out and collect, and retire. I should say the retired community that goes out. Okay.
You're being politically correct there, Chris.
Well, it's your show, so try to be respectful.
Politically correct. Yeah, Roman, you can always count on Roman coming in and supporting lives and talking the biggest foolishness stuff I have ever witnessed in my life. And that's what makes his live shows. By the way, if you're not caught Roman's live, you need to go check this cat out, dude. I can't wait to meet him. Don't get Ben angry about being cheap. Let me tell you something. We're actually, and this was not my idea, on the Reseller Locker Room podcast show. The guys have come up with a new segment that we're going to be adding in, and it's going to be Ben's rant. Shut up and listen. Your instruction during Ben rant segment is to shut up and listen, because I lose it sometimes, and I've not been that bad lately. I don't think. Do you, Chris?
No, you've been pretty chill, man. Been
Yeah,
pretty chill.
yeah.
I like seeing you get all fired up, man. Makes me know that I'm not the only person that gets worked up over stuff, man.
Look here, Mary says, respectful of the over 50 crowd. Honey, I don't get any respect. These guys pop shot
Man,
me at every turn. That's all right. That's all
I'm
right.
pushing 50 anyway, man. I'm 48, so I may as well already be 50. Shoot, I'll be 49 in a few months.
Oh my goodness.
I quit keeping track after like 45, man. It's like, well, okay.
Yay, we got Fart Sack Jack in the house. Good to see him. Love that username, dude. Fart Sack Jack. That's awesome. And Roman is always full of commentary. Have you noticed? Chris, you have to listen, or Ben.
I got a bigger Sharpie than you got.
Hold a marker in your hand. Listen, I shared this. I shared this on the Two Old Guys Reselling podcast last night. I co-hosted with Caleb, and if y'all caught our Christmas show, on the locker room show during Christmas time, each of the guys in the locker room, we all bought each other Christmas gifts, and we waited to open them until we were on the show, so everybody in chat could see what we got. And my man Archie Biscuit Butt got me a whole pack of multicolored Sharpies. And I was like, dude, I love Sharpies. But he goes, no, that ain't why I got them for you. I didn't get them for you because you love Sharpies. I got them because they're all different colors, and the colors will correspond to the current mood that you are in. So for instance, if I'm in a pissed off mood, I'm going to be holding up my red marker to let you know that I'm pretty torqued up right now. And if I'm cool, calm, and collected, I'm holding up the blue pen. So, I thought that was funny, but yeah, that was great.
That is hilarious.
Rachel is in the house. Hello,
Saw Rachel.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you, Rachel. Hope things are going well. And yeah, so dude, it's been an adventure with everybody here on YouTube, and this last year of cutting these videos. And I shared this last night. Most YouTube creators that I know of that have told me they don't like the editing side of things. I'm kind of the opposite. I hate doing the filming. I like the editing part because you have a lot of creativity that you can add into your video when you're doing the editing. And that's where I like to spend my time. So if any of y'all want me to edit your YouTube videos, I only charge $69.95 per editing session. And you can DM me on Instagram, and I will edit your videos. I'm kidding. Don't do that. I'm serious. Don't do that. But point is,
something, man.
I like to edit, man. I just like to edit videos. So yeah. Yeah, there's pink in there, Fart Sack Jack. I don't know what mood would I be in if I'm holding up a pink Sharpie. What would you color code the mood to be if it was pink?
This is a PG show.
That's a PG show, man. Can't say that, man. Yeah, only 7 sessions per video. But no, when I do my editing, Chris, I don't know how. I guess it's based on what your time availability is. But most times the day that I shoot a video, as soon as I turn the camera off, I'm right to editing it, and I don't get up from the computer till it's done.
Right. Yeah. Lately, I've been filming on my lunch hour, and then after work, I'll go back and edit it out, and then I'll go take packages. It's a juggle, man. It's a juggle. I just try to make it work. I'm starting to get more comfortable making the videos. At first, I was, out of my wheelhouse, out of my comfort zone, and started to get pretty comfortable with it. I'm starting to have some fun with it. Trying to make the videos that I don't see other people making. I know what sold's common, but my subject matter, I don't see anybody else selling quite the stuff that I'm selling. Maybe I just don't know who to watch. But I don't see people turning numbers like that, or maybe not turning the numbers, but what I consider cool stuff.
Yeah, for everything that I've seen on your What Solds, dude, you have got some nice, unique, high profit items. It's just amazing. I get amazed with it, man.
Now I do pay up for some of those. So when you watch my videos, I've touched base a couple of times. When I do my comps on a screen, or my screenshots, and my custom label shows how much I paid. So
yeah.
And then I try to voice how much I paid too. So, I thought like that Hot Wheels set you're talking about, pregame here. I paid $200 for it, but I couldn't let it go, man. It was too cool. I had it on display for like 2 months, man, looking at it, and then every time somebody come over that's in the car, I'm like, oh, dude, check this out. So, it was part of the enjoyment. And then I sold it for 300, so offered 2, sold for 3. It wasn't a big money item, but it still got that same feeling going because it was such a cool item,
Sure. So Fart Sack Jack says that the pink, if I'm reading right, he can call the pink pen I'm being feisty, whatever that means. But we'll go with that, bro. We'll go with feisty for pink. All right. So you kind of laid it down, Chris. Basically, you've got so many witnesses to a statement that you made a little while back that you are going to set a goal that you're going to try to be full time next year. You did say that, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So
It
everybody
might be
watching,
sooner than that.
okay. Well, we're gonna be rooting for you, and we're gonna hold you to that. And anytime someone can leave a normal everyday job and get into reselling, if you love reselling and you can take what you love and be able to do it for a living, you'll never work a day in your life. And to me, there's nothing anything better. And I've owned a lot of businesses since I've been an adult. And let me tell you what, this business has got some stresses. Anytime you're self employed, it's going to have stresses. But the fun of the hunt, the money you can make with little effort compared to a lot of other things that you could be doing, it's just amazing, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, I mean, the way I'm seeing it is there's no limit, right? In my job, there's a limit. I can't go above this mark right here. Oh, I might go up another what 3%, another whatever every year. This I'm
Yeah.
in control of how much I make. And to touch base on what else you said, this is the first. I've had a lot of jobs, man. I was blue collar. I started working at 14, man. I started working at 12. I was doing concrete work with my uncle at 12. So I mean, I've been in hard work ever since. I was doing when I could barely pick up the wheelbarrow full of concrete. You know what I mean? Like I've been in the trenches. That's what motivated me to go to school to get into IT when I turned like 35. I was tired of the bull crap.
Yeah.
Maximum work for pennies. It's like, well, if I'm gonna be doing something I don't like to do, at least got to make some more money at it. So now when I found this, man, honestly, it's the first time I've ever found anything that's profitable that I truly enjoy. And that statement is in my head, like, what you said, you find something you like to do, you'll never work a day in your life. And this is the first thing I found that fits that bill, man. So yeah,
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well,
going to
guys,
happen. That's what I told the wife. I was like, it's going to happen. There's no other way around it.
now let me ask you this. Your storage area there in your garage, are you finding yourself now we're are you finding yourself running out of room, or do you have a plan to expand? And if you do, what is your plan to expand?
Well, phase one is happening this week or next week. I gotta do a garage reorg. Currently every time I do anything, man, I gotta pull my car out of the garage. Right. And that's a big pain in the butt. So I've got a plan to reorg this half of my garage to be my eBay store and my packing and listing center. Okay. Right now
Yeah.
everything's like my listing station is on the other side of this car, and my packing station is on a table where this car is right now. Right. So I've got plans. I can expand. I can double my store in this garage if I get rid of all the other crap I'm storing in here. Okay.
Okay.
So I've been strategically building sheds, like not the sheds like the resellers have, man. I mean, I'm talking about like the garden sheds. I've been building those in my back patio, filling that with stuff, that were like keepsake stuff that's been in my garage, trying to make more room. But yeah, you're right, man. I'm at the way it sits right now. I could add 150 items to my store based on how empty my bins are currently. Like I think 500 items is the max for what my store is set up right now, and I'm at like 350 or whatever the hell it is right now. So I can add 150 items right now, but yeah, to grow to double it like I want to. Like I don't want a huge store. The way I see it is, I think I can double my numbers and have an 800 item store. That's what I think I can do, and I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't want to be over 800. I don't want to babysit over 800 items, man. Like I see a lot of guys, and I mean, don't take what I'm saying personally. Everybody has what works for them, and they deal with what they have at hand. But me, I'm not going to babysit a 1,500 item store or a 2,000 item store. I don't want that many items, man. I don't want to deal with that. I want stuff to move, man. I want all this out of here. I ain't trying to. It ain't no competition on how big my store can get. You know,
Yeah.
how many items can I pump out? I pumped out 1,800 this last year. Can I pump out 3,600 this year? That's how I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at how many items I have, but I think I could make. I think I could do it with the 800 item store
Yeah. I
or
think
less,
you're right. I think you're
or
right.
less.
Yeah. Rad says that you can sell him your car and that'll take care of the car problem.
Yeah, not for sale.
Not for sale.
I
Oh
know
yeah.
the answer. I know the answer. I sold my last car for that answer, and then I got this one. I had a 64 Grand Prix.
Read that one.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, no thank
you've never thought about buying a shed like what I'm in, like a 12 by 24. This is about 366 square feet. You've never
where I'm
thought
at.
about
It's
just,
not an option. I don't have room
oh,
for that. I don't have
don't
room
have
for a
room.
shed like that. So the property I live on, I rent this whole compound right here. I call it a compound. So it's front house, back house. Back house sits over two-car garages. I live in the front. I rent a studio in the middle to my mom, and then my sister and her family live above me in the back. So like they're right above me right here. Okay, so
Yeah,
out here in Southern California, I found this whole property. So I just rented the whole damn thing, and then rented to my family. And that's it's so expensive out here, man. If I had property, I would love to have a shed dedicated for this, but I don't. That's
okay.
not the case,
All
man.
right. I got two questions. This is not reseller related. Do you go to McDonald's and order a Big Mac?
I don't go to McDonald's.
What fast food joint do you go to?
I really try to not to do fast food. I like Wendy's.
Okay. What does a Wendy's single combo run you? A single burger combo?
Shit, I don't know, man. Last time I went through a drive-through, the combo was like $16 or something like that. Yeah.
Really? Let me
Yeah,
tell you
so
something there,
I'll
Hoss.
go buy a steak, man, and cook it myself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Let me tell you, you come up here to Tennessee where I'm at, I can take you to Longhorn Steakhouse and you can have a steak, baked potato, and salad for what you paid for a Wendy's freaking combo.
Oh yeah. We eat 90% of our meals here at the house, man. We do fast food. We do El Pollo Loco. You probably don't have one of those out there, the crazy chicken. But yeah, that's the healthiest we can find. That's close. I mean, I'm not a health freak or anything. My wife is, but I'm not really a health freak. I mean,
what's that?
I like to eat good food. I don't want to eat crap.
What's that called? Loco? What is it?
El Pollo Loco.
Okay. There is no way that I would ever go to that place because when I spend money on my food, I want to hang on to it as long as I bloody well can before I got to give it back.
You don't like chicken?
I don't like to give it back an hour after I ate it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's not like Taco Bell, man.
Oh my gosh, man. Raise the red pin. We got to raise the red pin. Is this red?
Shit.
Is it red?
Fired up.
Get fired up about your business, man. Man, let me tell you something, man. Our new episode of Reseller Locker Room hits tomorrow morning. We had Rod picking and punching on our show, and he used to be a wrestler. And let me tell you something. You need to watch the whole episode all the way to the end because the crap that went down in that episode, dude, is classic. We were calling each other out like doing wrestler promos in front of the mic, and I was doing my Hulk Hogan. Well, you know something, brother? I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree, and you better turn before you burn. And I mean, we were just on it, dude. And it was so fantastic, and the energy was so high. I mean, my pins were just flying everywhere. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like watching Rod. I had a shout out to him on one of my videos. He found this Tiffany stamp box, it's called a pine needle stamp box. But he found one, paid up for it, sold it for like $800. A couple weeks later, I'm at a yard sale digging through a tote, and I find one, dude. And I'm like, no way. I just grabbed it. I didn't even try to look for the hallmark because I can't see that well. I usually take a picture after the large shit, So I grabbed it, took it. Sorry for cussing. Took it, got it to the car, took a picture and ordered it. Tiffany Studios, holy crap! Paid $5 for it. It sold for $175, man. And it was damaged, But yeah, so I had a shout out to him, and he responded. He saw the video, responded. So that I got a kick out of that, But I'm always leaving him comments too. He knows my name at least, I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that show.
Yeah, man, it's great. And first off, I just want to encourage everybody that's watching the replay and that is in chat right now. When we go off, if you'll please go over to Easy Pickens and give him a sub because Chris works hard. He works hard. He knows what he's doing when he's sourcing. He's making killer money, and you will learn something by watching his What Solds, I promise you. And he's opened my eyes to a lot of different things that I've known in the past that I've passed up that I shouldn't have. So you want to make sure to go give him a sub, like him, and send him a request on Instagram. And his eBay store is Forgotten Collectibles if you want to check out what he's got for sale. And speaking of Caleb earlier, Caleb is in the house. Welcome in, Caleb. How you doing?
Caleb?
And Roman just subbed to you there, Chris.
He subbed to me weeks back. It was awesome.
Yep. And Caleb has joined us in. We appreciate you coming in, Caleb. We're about ready to turn this thing off. It's been an hour and 30 minutes, but what an hour and 30 it's been.
That was fun, man. Having a good time.
Yeah. And so make sure that you go check out Chris's channel after you leave here. Make sure you go check out the Reseller Locker Room. New episode dropping tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also you want to go check out the Two Old Paths reselling podcast as well. And my name has been the Rocky Top Picker. And as always, I want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. Chris, props to you, my man. Thank you for all the support that you've shown me here on this channel. And I hope that I can return the favor back to you, brother. And I look forward right now. I look forward to building this relationship with you here. And who knows, if we get together in person sometime, we may do a video together.
Yeah, well, do it, man. Do it. If you ever need an alternate for your show, man, hit me up.
Sounds good.
I'm set
All
up,
right,
dude.
guys. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I cannot wait to see you right back here on Rocky Top Live.